Bon matin!
Good morning from Gaspésie National Park. We arrived here yesterday evening. Oh, wow.
And we're staying at the Gîte du Mont-Albert, and this is Mount Albert right behind us. It is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it's a 4-star inn, and it's been here since 1950. There were buildings here before, and it's just nestled into the shadow of Mont Albert. They really picked a good place for this hotel. It feels like it was meant to be here.
And the view from our room is spectacular. Exactly. And we have an amazing view of the mountain in the background looking down onto the pool, which looks very enticing.
Yeah, you wake up and go to the window and you've got the blue of the pool down below and then the blue of the sky up above.
C'est parfait.
Some nice symmetry there to wake up to. Last night when we arrived, we were really hungry, so we went straight to the restaurant and had a really lovely 3-course meal.
Yeah, we started with a creamy turnip soup with parsnip garnish.
And then we both had the same thing, which was the braised beef pasta with mustard sauce, feta, arugula, and roasted sesame seeds. It was just, felt like the perfect comfort food.
It really was. And for dessert, I had the chocolate mousse with rosehip puree, Daqua cookie, and Labrador tea ice cream. It was as good as it sounds.
And I've never met a creme brulee on a menu that I didn't want to order, so I had the creme brulee and it was delicious. And with dessert, we both ordered a cup of Inuit tea. I got one that was for calming, with peppermint and fennel and things like that.
And I got one that is supposed to help you focus your ideas. So
clear your mind.
I'm hoping that helps.
This morning we went down to the breakfast buffet, and one of the things I love most about this hotel, I think, is because it's so established and it's been here for such a long time. They have these gorgeous archival photos all over the hotel, and they have one of what the dining room used to look like, and you can definitely see the timber beams in the ceiling that are still there, so it's nice to see now and then. And so we went to that same breakfast room, and they have a lovely buffet set up. You can get all kinds of hot items, and then there's a fruit bar, juice, coffee, the whole deal. We definitely ate a lot of food to fuel us for the day. And they also have a lunchbox menu that you can fill out and then pick up whenever you want, so you can take a little picnic with you when you're out in the park. I have to say, it feels very luxurious to stay at a 4-star inn in a national park.
It really does.
But they also have a lot of campsites here. You can, of course, bring your own gear, or they have some really nice looking ready-to campsites too. We stopped into the Discovery Center here because Gaspésie National Park is really big. It's over 800 square kilometers. So we just wanted to kind of get a lay of the land. And we also saw that they have a lot of rental equipment. So if you've forgotten something like, you know, your hiking boots or walking poles, you need a baby carrier or something like that, I think it's nice that they have that available. And then of course they have all of the things you need for the winter activities too.
Yeah, like snowshoes and cross-country skis, helmets and avalanche safety equipment.
I think it's safe to say we will not be requiring anything like that today. We have nothing so extreme in mind, but we do want to see as much of the park as we can. So we're gonna spend the day exploring. Oh. Mark was putting sunscreen on the back of my neck, and then somehow he's now doing my ankles, which I greatly appreciate.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Gotta keep them safe from the sun as well. Ankles are often overlooked.
It's all part of Mark's SPF service.
That's right. No charge.
This park is known for all of its hiking trails, so we have selected one that promises a nice view from the top.
Yeah, it's called the Sentier du Mont Ernest-Laforce, which is a pretty cool name.
Everything sounds better in French. So we have our lunch boxes packed, and we're going to head up this trail and see what we find.
It's like a forest of birch trees.
It's gorgeous. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
I meant to say that the other reason we picked this specific trail is because in all of this massive park, this is one of the best spots to see moose, which we really hope to do today. And we just passed a girl who told us that not far up here, she saw a moose with 2 babies. So we are really hoping that they're still there. This part of the trail that we're on now has a teeny tiny little stream running down one side of it, and the sound of the water is just so
peaceful,
calming. Yeah, and it will be very handy when we start to breathe more heavily. It might drown that out a little bit. Well, it's not a moose, but there's some sort of bird crossing the path up there. It's moving very gingerly.
I can't really tell what that is.
No, I have no idea. I don't recognize it.
It's very laid back though.
Yes, he's taking his time. I'm trying to capture wildlife and my arms are like...
Planet Earth, this is not.
No. It's a really, really beautiful bird though.
It is.
We can, you know, figure out what it is after the fact.
Yeah, if you know, leave us a comment.
Yes, if you know anything about birds, please tell us what kind of bird this is.
Still on the lookout for moose, but we have found what appears to be their droppings. So hopefully they're in the vicinity.
Do 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 do. I'm gonna pretend that that call had something to do with mine. I love that sound. It has such a trumpet effect, like it's announcing something. The further we get up the trail, the more I start to feel like we're really in the mountains, and the air is just so clean and fresh feeling, and the breeze has that kind of crispness, and as I'm breathing I almost feel like I'm getting cleaned on the inside because it's so fresh feeling. There's a lovely plaque here in French in case anyone needs any reminding. This beautiful vista. It says, breathe profoundly, contemplate the shapes, the colors, consider the wind, listen, breathe in all the aromas, and taste with all your senses. There's so many trails in this park, and one of the things I think is really interesting is that the International Appalachian Trail actually goes through Gaspésie National Park. There are about 650 kilometers of that trail that go all through Quebec, and part of it goes through Gaspésie. This park also has the second tallest mountain in Quebec. And this may not be the tallest mountain in Quebec, but I feel like I have definitely found the best seat in the house. I think that must be the lookout.
Oh yeah. We're almost there.
We've reached the top! Gotta hold on to my hat up here.
Yeah, there's some wind.
And there's a lovely bench, and my favorite part of the hike has arrived, where we're going to open our lunch boxes that we got from the hotel earlier today. So we've got the most incredible 360 view, and I'm going to get out our lunch boxes. I think this is yours. Chicken and bacon sandwich with salad, an apple, some nice veggies. Ooh, trail mix. There's some cheese and an orange juice.
It's like a surprise bag.
Except you ordered it.
Except I ordered it, but I forgot.
You're
so
surprising
it's still
yourself.
a surprise.
Woo. Okay, I got everything the same except I picked apple juice, smoked salmon. I cannot get enough smoked salmon in this area. It is so good.
So fresh.
So fresh. You know how things just taste better when you're in the right place?
Yes.
Like, just, it's so true. This sandwich is gonna be one of the best sandwiches I've ever had because look where I'm eating it.
Does not get better. How are the first few bites? Merveilleux. Excellent.
Excellent.
Parfait. Fantastique.
Fantastique. C'était fantastique.
Très bien.
We just had lunch on the little bench behind us, but before we head back down, I feel like we have to go to the official lookout point at the tippy top here.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, top!
We made it.
Yes! Full 360 complete. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this day. You could not order a more perfect day than this. This was great.
This was worth it.
Yeah, I love this.
Well, what goes up must come down.
We've reached the climax. Now we've got the denouement of the hike. And I'm going to enjoy these amazing views while we still can. I have loved this hike though.
So have I.
If you're in Gaspésie, this particular hike, highly recommend because you get such a wonderful 360 view from the top. It feels like almost a little secret.
And try to find yourself here on a beautiful day like we have.
Yes, we still might have a chance of seeing a moose on the way back down. I feel a bit like Heidi, which must make you grandfather?
I guess so.
If you guys know what I'm talking about, leave a comment below.
Am I grandfather?
Yes, and I'm Heidi.
Oh.
That's what I get for calling you grandpa.
I think so.
We've almost finished this trail and wow, just still feeling that kind of
Yeah, I'm never
feeling.
gonna forget that.
No,
That view, looking all around 360 degrees.
just feeling so lucky that this coincided with this perfect kind of weather with such fantastic visibility.
Yeah, not a droplet of rain.
Yes, and we didn't see any moose, so unless they're in the parking lot, then I think it's safe to say that we did not see any moose this time around, but that's okay because we saw some absolutely incredible views. We're back in the car. We've just left Gaspésie National Park, and even after a short time there, it's a bit of culture shock on the road out of here because you see houses and power lines and you get cell service again, and the whole time you're in the park there's no cell signal, so you're pretty much off the grid. And I really think that being disconnected in a way makes you feel more connected to the mountains and the nature around you and just more present, so you have that kind of feeling. So just absolutely loved our time in the park. Anyway, now we're heading back towards Saint-Anne-des-Monts, back to the coast of the Gaspé Peninsula to continue our Gaspésie road trip.
We're back on the coast now, and we came to a town called Cap Chat. because there's a really strange looking structure that you see as you're driving along, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
So we thought we would come check it out.
This is the world's highest vertical axis wind turbine. It's called Projet Éole, Project Éole, for the god of wind. Éole in French means god of wind. And it's called project because that's exactly what it was from the start. This was a research and development project with Hydro-Quebec and the National Research Council. They wanted to understand whether this, a vertical axis wind turbine, would work, and how would it work? How much would it cost? How much energy would it produce? So this is what they came up with, and it was built between 1982 and 1987. Then it was actually working between 1987 and 1993. When it was in service, it rotated 14 times per minute. And if you look at the very outer part of the arm, at that point, it would be going over 200 kilometers an hour. The initial budget for this, back when it was built, was around $35 million. We know that they exceeded that, but we don't know exactly by how much. The interesting thing is that in 1993, the reason that this stopped working is that there was an explosion. There was a bearing up on the platform. You can actually see where it would have been. It's about 5 feet wide, and the bearing basically exploded, and it caused so much damage that it would have been way too expensive to repair. And it was better for them to simply sell this along with the 25 acres of land around it than to pay for what it would cost to repair after the explosion. They sold it for $1. And it had the same owner up until a couple of years ago when 2 new owners came along with the idea of having this be a kind of monument to wind energy research. So now it's a place where you're free to come and you can take a look inside. Not much has changed, and it's kind of a retro industrial immersion experience. We just got to go inside the old alternator. Now we're gonna go down underneath it, because you can see the kind of R&D that was happening at that time. Super cool. I've never seen anything like this at all. And it's really interesting to have the world's highest right here in Cap-Chat in the Gaspésie. And we're also surrounded here by wind turbines. And actually, that's the first wind farm in Quebec. So it's the perfect place to come and learn about wind. You already know, if you've been watching our channel, how much I personally adore abandoned sites and repurposed buildings. So this is right up my street. It's so interesting to be able to go inside and get an up-close look at all of the engineering that went into building something like this.
I feel like disoriented.
Yeah. You're like, am I moving?
Yeah.
And knowing that it was an R&D project that was never really supposed to produce energy, but then did in fact produce energy through the wind, and then was sold for $1, that's a really cool story. So I'm loving it. The sun is going down. It's looking pretty spectacular, casting shadows on this massive white structure. You can see the silhouettes of the other wind turbines just going around and around. There's just a real lightness here that you feel when you walk in initially, and that's before you even know the incredible story behind the turbine. Our guide Benjamin, who was showing us around, he showed us something that's a bit of a mystery. There's a lot of mysteries to be unraveled at this place actually, but there's a sign on the side of the alternator, and it says very clearly Celine, and he has no idea why that's there. Nobody seems to know. But something interesting about this region is that we're in Cap-Chat, and just down the road is a place called Saint-Anne-des-Monts. That's where we were just earlier today. And that's where Celine Dion's mother is from. So Celine Dion spent a lot of time right around here, and it's entirely possible that she might have visited here, and that, who knows, maybe in honor of a visit from Celine Dion, they decided to write her name on the alternator. I don't really know. Nobody does. But it's interesting to think that maybe there is some kind of link with Celine Dion.
Walking around inside there was really interesting. It felt like going back in time into a Cold War bunker or into the future in the Death Star.
They have some plans laid out that actually do kind of look like the Death Star. What I like most about it is just the feeling of it being kind of untouched, and you have just that sense of being right up close with a research and development project that was ahead of its time in a lot of ways with wind energy.
It has been frozen in time.
Yeah, and I just have so much respect and admiration for engineers. So that to me is really, really cool. It's just been such a day of discovery in different ways, you know, being in the park, on the trail, being at that 360 view of the mountain, then seeing the world's highest vertical axis wind turbine that also turns 360. I just feel like there's so many links today. It's just been a wonderful day. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed it as well. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for lots more travel adventures. We're going to enjoy this beautiful sunset here on the turbine, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Bye.